Okay, we're early February, post-season scouting, looking out for shed antlers. We're gonna walk you through how OnX works. We're gonna turn our trackers on and hit the road. So these little finger ridges in here, a lot of this is either flat or really hilly, but the finger ridges have some southern exposure, and this is what we're finding. There are beds scattered everywhere in here.
Another thing taking notice of, shooting lane trimmed up. Just have your head on a swivel and be very, very observant. Not only mark these locations, but definitely mark the tree stands you come across as well.
It's like an 8-inch tree.
Yeah. We don't get too carried away with marking rubs, but we find one this big that's an obvious signpost rub. Definitely mark that on OnX, especially if you end up finding more. You can connect those dots. See that rub line? I can tell over there. There's a ton more rubs up in here.
Again, you can color code it to correspond with what kind of rub it is too. Like my signpost rubs, I like them to be white.
Absolutely. Utilize those colors. There's a lot of sign up in here. They've definitely been bedding on this piece.
I'm telling you, it's really picked up in the past couple of years.
Yeah, it I guess another great thing about, well, pretty much the only great thing about having snow is you can see all the trails. Definitely tough to find the scrapes, and of course shed antlers, but you can see the deer trails plain as day. And it gives you confidence to try these spots late in the bow season when pretty much everybody's given up, when it's cold as heck outside and there's snow on the ground. Noticing them now and marking them on OnX is you'll know where to go when it is that time next season. Also take note, deer will die typically where they feel the most comfortable and safe, and where they're overall not bothered. And I think that's why people don't, part of the reason why they don't find them is because they go into those nooks and crannies where they feel comfortable. So again, take note of where you find dead animals right here. Look at that. It was a little buck. So again, deer, especially bucks, will die in spots where they feel the most comfortable. So just take note of that, and even mark that on OnX, and I'm going to do that right now. Well, one of the more important things that we haven't gone over yet today is finding locations and marking locations that are setup points. I'm snaking through this bedding area, and I've marked a couple spots where these cedar trees are big enough to put a stand in, at least, you know, a few feet off the ground where you still got plenty of cover. But I'm also marking spots and making special notes on locations where I can have a ground attack, and even come in here with a ghillie suit and mark these spots where there's plenty of cover. However, you got little lanes and decent visibility where you can see things coming. Well, that wraps up a pretty good scouting mission this morning. Just to recap, like we said, first and foremost, download those maps first before you even get out here. Even if you don't have service, you can utilize it. And then, yeah, focus on trying to find the spots with human pressure, and don't forget to mark those tree stands and places that appear to you know, have other people hunting there. And usually the sign will dictate where you see more deer sign. It's usually, you know, on the opposite ends of where those tree stands are and such. So yeah, just follow sign and marking beds and marking those big signpost rubs and trying to connect those dots. And once you get home, pull it up on the computer, you can usually see a nice distinct line and you know, in coordinates where that pressure is.
Yep, and one tip I'm gonna give is try to remember to turn your tracker off while you're in the parking lot, because that's my number one problem.
But if you don't, OnX has a new feature where you can go in there and edit the tracker.
That's right. That's right. So I just turned mine off. We did 5.3 miles in 4 hours, so not a bad day.
Yeah, not bad. Also, if you do happen to find you know, some sheds, mark those spots, because we've learned over the years by marking those. We never used to, but we started developing a pattern, you know, on where these sheds and beds are this time of year. So also the dead heads, mark those spots where you find those dead bucks, because like I said earlier, those are going to be those bedding areas where they feel the most comfortable to go die. So get out there, stretch the legs, drop some pins, and write some notes, and it'll pay big dividends next fall.